Back in 1906, this guy Brannigan is hauling tail across the nasty, open plains of the Oklahoma Territory. He's got 3 guys wearing sheriff badges, Dugan, Stillwell, and their scumbag leader Ketchum, right on his heels. No matter how fast he tries to move, he gets clipped by a bullet and ends up captured. Ketchum walks up and starts playing tough guy with a wounded man. He's kicking Brannigan left and right, demanding to know where some other guy they're hunting is hiding out. Brannigan tries to keep his mouth shut, but he breaks after Ketchum ties him to a horse and drags him across the dirt like a rag doll.
Is that everything you have to say on the matter? I swear. You know what? I believe you. Oh!
Since he's hurting bad, Brannigan finally spills that the guy they want headed east. Instead of showing any heart after getting the info, Ketchum just executes the guy right there in the dirt. Now the search for the next guy is officially on across the territory. Somewhere else in the neighborhood, a widower named Henry McCarty is living a quiet, low-key life on a plain old farm. He's got his teenage kid, Wyatt, with him, and stays close to his brother-in-law, Al. Henry used to live in New York and moved around a lot, but now he's just a regular farmer.
Thanks for the help, Al.
It does me good to be here. Feel like I'm still connected to Marie somehow.
Give your uncle a hand with his thanks. That is, if you've had sufficient respite.
Henry's wife died from the TB, so he's been raising Wyatt all by his lonesome with Al popping in to help. Things are always a little tense between father and son because Wyatt is itchy to leave and hates this boring life. The kid dreams of hitting the road and learning how to handle a piece, but Henry won't hear none of it.
We'll take 2 chops. I ain't got time to render this.
Don't it bother you sometimes to eat their own?
Don't make no difference to a hog.
Henry's got strict rules and won't let the kid touch a gun, period. It creates a real wall between them, with Wyatt feeling like his old man is just holding him back. Even with all that friction, they just keep on with the farm work in the middle of nowhere.
Working the crops.
You'll discover there's worse arrangements.
Pa?
One morning, the routine goes out the window when they see a horse with no rider wandering near their spot. The animal is spooked, and the saddle is absolutely soaked in blood. Wyatt takes the horse back to the house while Henry rides out to see what the deal is. Not far from his land, Henry finds some guy passed out on the ground. The guy, name of Curry, took a bullet to the shoulder and is looking real rough. Henry looks around and finds a revolver and a satchel that's stuffed with a ton of cash.
Nope.
Henry's on the fence about getting involved because all that blood and money means nothing but trouble. He thinks about walking away so he doesn't bring that mess home. But he's got a conscience, and he realizes he can't just leave the guy to rot in the mud. Henry uses some mud and a rag to stop the bleeding on Curry. Then he's real careful about covering his tracks so nobody follows him back. He loads the guy, the piece, and the bag of cash onto the horse and heads for the farm.
Was he alone?
No, but give me a hand.
Once they get back, Henry and Wyatt put Curry in a bed and start working on his shoulder. Henry's playing it smart and hides the money and the gun in a secret spot in his closet. He thinks he's being slick, but Wyatt is peeping through a crack in the door the whole time. The next morning, Henry knows Curry's a goner if that bullet doesn't come out. He decides he's got to ride into town to find a real doctor for the job. Before he heads out, he takes a few precautions to keep things under control. Henry ties Curry to the bed so the guy doesn't try any funny business while he's gone. He leaves a knife on the table and tells Wyatt it's only for an emergency if Curry needs to get loose. Then Henry takes off, leaving the kid to watch the farm and their guest.
Trail's cold. We'll get him. That dog could track a fish through water.
With the old man gone, Wyatt can't help himself. He ignores what his father told him and sneaks into the closet to see what's what. He finds the bag full of dough and can't believe how much is in there. Wyatt also finds a locked box Henry's been hiding for years. Inside, he finds a real nice revolver, some ammo, and old newspaper stories about crimes from back in the day. These stories hint that Henry's got a past he never talked about with the kid. Wyatt takes Curry's gun outside to get some practice in. He sets up a bottle and starts blasting away, loving the feel of finally having a piece in his hand. The sound of the shots carries all the way back into the house. Curry starts waking up because of the noise outside. The shots trigger a bad memory of a night his house was torched and his family was rubbed out. In the dream, the killer told him to keep his head down, which clearly messed him up.
Keep your head down. You'll be all right.
Wyatt eventually finishes his target practice and puts the gun back, having no clue what he did to Curry. Meanwhile, Henry's ride to town gets interrupted by some serious danger. He sees 3 guys looking at the exact spot where he found the wounded man.
He was here.
Don't look like it to me.
Whoever it is knows what he's doing. If it weren't for this rain, I'd have found him sooner.
The guys are Ketchum, Stillwell, and Dugan. Stillwell is a pro tracker and sees right away that someone tried to hide the trail. Now they know for a fact that Curry's close by and someone's looking out for him.
I need to know where he's heading.
Henry hides in a field and watches him from a distance. At one point, the guys hear something and start blasting into the grass. Henry manages to stay hidden and barely gets away without getting spotted or shot. Realizing these guys are headed for his place, Henry forgets the doctor and hauls it back home. He knows his kid is in trouble and this Curry situation is about to blow up. While Henry's racing back, things get messy at the house. Inside, Wyatt sees that one of the ropes holding Curry has come loose. He goes over to the bed and sees a blanket covering Curry's other hand. When he moves the blanket, he sees Curry already got himself loose.
Pa found you. Close to dead. He brought you back here.
Who's your pa?
Henry, just a farmer.
What, it's only you and him here?
He's just out back, tending to the hogs.
Oh, yeah?
Curry stops faking and jumps the kid. He grabs the knife from the table and pins Wyatt to the floor. He tells Wyatt he doesn't want to hurt him. He just wants his bag of money back.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Right when Curry is threatening the kid, Henry bursts into the room. He jumps in immediately, kicks Curry off his son, and knocks the guy out cold. Then Henry ties him to a chair even tighter so he doesn't try that again. Henry figures it's way too risky to ride for a doctor now that there's armed guys in the area. He decides he's got to do the surgery himself to keep the prisoner alive.
What you aiming to do with that?
Gonna dig that bullet out of you.
He heats up a knife and gets ready to dig the bullet out of Curry's shoulder. While he's doing the work, Henry starts grilling Curry about who he really is. Curry's screaming in pain but says he's actually a lawman. He warns Henry and Wyatt they gotta get out of there before some real bad people show up.
Listen, if you got a brain in your head, you can get yourself. You hear me?
Riders.
Come on, come on.
Listen, there gonna be 3 of them. One's a Mexican with a thick beard. And believe me,
Keep back from the window.
Once the bullet is out, Henry finds Curry's piece and sees it's been fired lately. He reloads it just as Ketchum and his crew roll onto the property. Henry steps out on the porch to face the strangers all by himself.
Can I help you?
I'm Sheriff Sam Ketchum. These here are my deputies.
Ketchum says he's a sheriff and his buddies are deputies. He explains they're looking for an outlaw named Curry who's got a bag of stolen dough. Ketchum warns Henry that the guy they're hunting is a killer who likes to play cop.
Might also claim he's the law. He's a killer. He will kill again. You're not fixing to shoot any of us with that pistol, are you?
So far, I got no reason to.
That's good news.
You'll want to think before you raise that thing up for him.
How many people live out here?
What difference is that to you?
You married? Saw a grave over there.
My wife died 10 years back from tuberculosis.
As they're talking, Ketchum starts getting a weird vibe from Henry. When Henry gives his name as McCarty, Ketchum mentions a famous criminal had that same name back in the day. Henry keeps his cool and says he's got no family left and doesn't know what he's talking about. Henry tells him he hasn't seen anyone like Curry or any stray horses. Ketchum doesn't have enough on him to search the house, so he gets ready to leave. Before he rides off, he tells Henry he better keep his doors locked tight tonight.
You be sure to lock your doors tonight. Stay safe. Come on.
Once the guys take off, Henry goes back inside and is livid that Wyatt was messing with the gun. Wyatt argues that he just wanted to see what it was like because his old man never taught him. Henry slaps the kid twice, and Wyatt yells that his father is a nobody and he's leaving the farm for good.
Crushed! You're a stupid, worthless old man.
Later, Henry goes back in to keep grilling Curry about the gang. Curry tells a different story, claiming he's the real sheriff and Ketchum and his guys are bank robbers who stole the badges. He says he managed to grab the money back but got shot escaping. Curry says he doesn't get why Ketchum didn't just clip Henry during the standoff. He's positive the gang is coming back to finish the job. Meanwhile, Ketchum and his crew are waiting nearby, thinking Henry is feeding him a line. Ketchum tells his guys Henry didn't hold that gun like a regular farmer. He sends Dugan to watch the place from the bushes while he and Stillwell go find some more muscle. They also plan on visiting Henry's brother-in-law, Al. When it gets dark, Henry tells Wyatt to stay inside where it's safe. He brings some soup to Curry and starts talking more to see if his story holds water. Henry mentions names and places from his old travels, and Curry actually knows them. Curry says he's sorry for jumping Wyatt, saying he was just out of it and scared. He says Henry's face looks familiar, but Henry shuts that down quick. Henry decides to test the guy by loosening one of his hands.
What farming what your daddy did?
My daddy died when I was 3, up in Kansas, and he did near everything but work the land. I was orphaned at 15.
That's 13 years longer than I knew my folk.
Whereabouts you grow up?
New Mexico.
Which part?
Fort Sumner. Born and raised. You heard of it?
Henry leaves his gun on the table and turns away to get a drink, just to see what Curry does. Curry doesn't touch the piece, which starts to build a little trust. Instead, Curry keeps telling stories, including how he saw the legendary Billy the Kid get shot years ago. Hearing these stories and seeing the guy didn't grab the gun finally convinces Henry. He unties Curry all the way and gives him his piece back, telling him to get lost before the trouble comes.
Take it. Good. I'll fetch your loot.
But before they can move, the windows start smashing. Dugan's outside blasting through the windows. Curry tries to fire back but he's still too weak and passes out. Wyatt rushes in to help, but a bullet grazes his arm during the mess.
I think I'm all right.
You just passed out.
I'm better with it than you think. Taught myself. Shush.
Henry realizes Dugan is under the floorboards, shooting up whenever he hears someone move. He gives Wyatt a gun and tells him to stay put and listen to what he says. Henry uses a book to trick Dugan, throwing it to draw his fire. While Dugan is distracted by the noise, Henry grabs his rifle and slips out of the house. He blasts through the floorboards from outside, forcing Dugan to scramble out. Henry shoots him in the leg to keep him from going anywhere. Henry tackles Dugan in the mud and asks where the rest of the crew is. When Dugan won't talk, Henry strangles him to death while Wyatt watches. To hide the mess, Henry feeds the body to the pigs.
I saw.
The others will be coming. First thing, we got to get rid of this body.
How we gonna do that?
We ain't.
Henry sees a specific gang brand on Dugan's skin before he gets rid of him. Then he goes inside to fix up the cut on Wyatt's arm. Wyatt is still cold to his old man, telling him respect is a two-way street.
How am I supposed to respect you if you ain't respecting me?
I am respecting you.
I just don't believe a bit of it.
Keep your head down.
The next morning, things get even worse for the family. Al is out hunting birds and is an easy target for Ketchum and Stillwell. They start torturing him to get the scoop on Henry.
Something I can help you with?
I wanted to ask you a couple questions. Brother-in-law.
What concerns he of yours?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Well, we came here for some answers.
That's so.
Back at the farm, Henry and Wyatt help Curry get his clothes on so he can try to leave. It's obvious Curry is in no shape to ride or fight. Curry says Henry and Wyatt should take the dough and run while he stays to face the music. Wyatt wants to stay and fight for their spot, but Henry initially thinks they should take off. As they're getting ready, they look out and see Ketchum is back with a whole mob of hired guns. The farm is surrounded, and there's no way out. Henry and Wyatt have to scramble back inside while Ketchum yells from the yard, trying to make a deal. Ketchum says if they give up Curry and the cash, he'll let him walk away clean. Henry says no dice, so Ketchum turns up the heat by showing they got Al.
Before this
this turns into some kind of brigazee, why don't me and you settle this? Knuckle and skull.
You got a lot of fight for a farmer. That ain't the way this plays out.
Al is in bad shape and bleeding out in front of the outlaws. Henry is fuming, grabs his rifle, and gives Wyatt a piece. He tells the kid to stay away from the windows and only shoot if he absolutely has to.
Only use this if you have to.
Let me fight. Just turn me over. You don't, they're gonna kill us all.
Curry is begging to be handed over to save the family, but Henry ignores him and goes out to face Ketchum again. During the standoff, Ketchum admits he's no sheriff and says he's dying to know who Henry really is. He offers to swap Al for Curry one last time, but Henry isn't talking to criminals. Since neither Henry nor Al are talking, Ketchum executes Al in cold blood right there in the yard.
You get what you want, I get what I want. We go our separate ways without blood spilled.
You leave my brother-in-law right where he is. Turn and ride your asses off my property. You do that, and I'll let you live.
That sounds like something else altogether. Hobbs, anything you could tell me might change the equation here?
Kiss my ass, you long-winded.
Last chance, Al.
You have no idea the hailstorm you fixing to let loose.
Whoa. Easy, fella.
Seeing his uncle get murdered makes Wyatt snap, and he runs out blasting at the gang. Henry drags the kid back into the house while the outlaws start spraying the place with bullets. During the shootout, Curry gets hit in the leg when he gets too close to a window. Henry reams Wyatt out for being a hothead and tells him to keep his head down. Hearing those exact words reminds Curry of what Billy the Kid said to him years ago. Curry figures out that Henry McCarty is actually the legend Billy the Kid.
Now keep your damn head down. Keep your head down.
Fulton McKinney on the porch. Caroline in the house. 2 shots. When you were speaking Spanish to him, but he didn't kill you. He helped escape. You're young.
He's who?
Bonnie.
Oh, what is he talking about?
Who faked his death with Pat Garrett's help. Henry doesn't care about that right now and goes to get his old, high-end gun and holster. He tells Wyatt he'll be fine as long as he stays down.
Smart choice, friend.
Tranquilo. Es demasiado tarde para eso. ¿Eso crees? Sí, amigo.
What's he saying?
Henry walks outside and acts like he's given up. Then he draws his revolver like lightning and shoots Ketchum right in the face. He drops a few more of the gang in the first burst before diving back into the house for cover. Inside, Henry makes a big hole in the wall so the wounded Curry can help Wyatt hold off the rest of the guys. Then Henry slips out the back to start picking him off in the yard. He moves like a ghost, stabbing 2 guys from behind. Henry keeps up the tactical work, hiding under the house to clip another guy. He eventually runs into Stillwell, the tracker. Stillwell tries to throw a knife at him, but Henry is faster and shoots him right through the eye. Ketchum suddenly pops up from behind the pig pen, showing that the shot to his face only messed up his cheek instead of killing him. He managed to hit Henry in the shoulder, so Henry has to pull back into the woods. Ketchum follows him, and the 2 of them start a running gunfight through the trees. Henry shows he's the better shot, hitting Ketchum in the leg and the shoulder. Eventually, Ketchum runs out of bullets, and Henry walks up to end it. Henry shoots Ketchum in the head, finishing the gang for good. Wounded and beat, Henry gets back to the house to check on his kid and Curry. As he's getting ready to bandage Curry up, he rips the guy's sleeve and sees something nuts. Curry's got the same gang brand on his arm that Henry saw on Dugan. Now that he's caught, Curry shoots Henry in the stomach. He admits that even though he was a sheriff, he was a dirty one working with Ketchum's crew the whole time.
I just never told you the whole truth.
Was you law at all?
Done a few jobs with him.
He only flipped on him when he realized they were gonna rub him out after the job was done. Curry tells a dying Henry he's gonna take the credit for being the guy who finally clipped Billy the Kid. But Wyatt heard the whole thing while he was grabbing a shotgun. Before Curry can finish Henry off, Wyatt shows up in the doorway and drops Curry dead. Wyatt runs to his old man and says they gotta find a doctor, but Henry knows he's done. Henry talks to the kid, telling him the stories about Billy the Kid are only half true. He admits he wasn't a good guy but says raising Wyatt was the best thing he ever did.
He's not a boy like you to raise.
Henry tells Wyatt the world is moving on and he doesn't fit in anymore, but he hopes Wyatt finds his spot. Then Henry dies right there in his son's arms. Wyatt buries his father next to his mother on the farm. Once he's done mourning, Wyatt packs up the cash, takes 2 horses, and leaves the farm behind. He rides out into the territory, finally getting to see the world like he always wanted.